Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Pete, and today we're going to review Adams Polish's 15mm Swirl Killer Pro. So stick around. So I got my polisher about 3 weeks ago as part of a mystery box that I had purchased. Right after I got it, I did a paint correction on my 2013 Nissan Altima, which was black. And I'm gonna tell you, this is the first time I've ever done a paint correction. It's the first time I've ever used a polisher. I was extremely happy with the results. I used the compound with the cutting pad and then went back over the entire car with the polisher and the soft polishing pad. And the results were very good. Overall, I really liked the polisher. So let's get into what I liked about it. And we will talk about the few things that I didn't like about it as well. Overall, it's very well made. It's a solid piece of equipment. It is fairly heavy. It's 5.5 pounds. It does have rubber touch points throughout on both the upper part and on the handle. And it's great for large surfaces. It has a 5.5-inch polishing pad, which really works out well for large surfaces like the deck lid or your hood. It's very powerful. It didn't bog down at all. And I felt that it had enough speed all the time to do what I needed it to do. It also comes with a detachable cord that has a positive lock on it. So the cord does not pull out at all while you're polishing. It works very well, and it does work out great for storing the polisher as well. You can take it off, put it in the box separately, or hang it on one of Adams' polishing holders that they offer as well. So it worked out very well. The other thing that I was really happy with is that the polisher comes with, I guess we can call them extras in the box. It did come with a D handle that you can attach to the top. I chose not to. I found it easier to work with just the way it is. It comes with an Allen wrench, so you can change the backing plate if necessary. And it also comes with, which kind of concerned me at first, a small bag of extra brushes. And the reason it concerned me was, am I gonna have to replace these brushes fairly soon or what? I wasn't really sure why. But after looking at the polisher closely, I noticed it really doesn't matter if I have to change the brushes. They did a great job. They've got a little access door here that with one screw, pop that screw out, the access door comes off, and you can change that brush really easily. Same thing on the other side. So I don't think the brushes are going to be an issue at all with the polisher. Now for a couple bad points, if we can call them bad points at all. The light. I think the light is really just a marketing tool. There's a button up here that turns on a light, and I gotta tell you, when you're polishing, your hand covers the light the majority of the time. The button is even a little difficult to push in, and the only time I used it was maybe twice in between changing pads. I turned the light on and held the polisher over the paint to see if there was any swirls. Nothing a flashlight couldn't do. So I really found that kind of to be more of a gimmicky marketing type thing. Another point that I didn't like, and I noticed it several times, was the speed adjustment. The speed adjustment is a rotary dial with numbers on it. Faster you go, it goes up in number. And it does have a positive kind of lock at each number, but I did notice that while I was polishing, my hand tended to change the position as I moved the polisher around. So if I set it on 5, I'd accidentally move it down to 4 or 3 sometimes. So I found that to be a little irritating. I think that might just be me having to get used to the tool. So that was one thing that I didn't like about it. Also the size. Now I mentioned the size as a positive, being that it was great for polishing deck lids and trunks, hoods and things like that, but it also is a disadvantage. It was difficult to get in some of the smaller areas of the car. So I found that I could polish probably 95% of the car, but there was a good 5% that it was difficult to or impossible to get into with this size polisher. So I do think the 12mm Swirl Killer is probably a better option for that. It has a 3.5 inch pad, I believe. So that's something you may want to think about too when you're purchasing a polisher. Do you need this large of a polisher, or can you get away with the smaller one? So I did find that I think I'll probably end up buying the smaller one to do those smaller areas. And you just have a little bit more control over it, I think. But overall, again, very happy with it. I do recommend it. I think I'd give it a 5 out of 5. But if you're thinking about buying it, it's an expensive tool. And I'm not going to get into Adam's marketing and how they price things and their sales that they always have. But this is almost $300. And by the time you get your discount, if you get one, you're down into the $250, $260 range. So think about, whether or not you want to spend that type of money on the larger one. You may want to go for the 12mm as opposed to this one. It's much less expensive and probably does as good or better of a job than this one. That's it for today. Thanks for stopping by, guys, and take care.